What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of JP Randomness. Hope you guys are having a blessed and an amazing day out there if you guys are watching this video. And today, you guys know quarantine got to my head because I am trying something a little out of my realm. I am going to be trying to raise some chickens. We're going to buy them. We're going to get them all set and ready to go. But first, we have to build a nice area and a nice fence to keep the chickens inside because my dad and my family, and even me, doesn't want the chickens to be roaming around our big 3-acre property. One, I might lose them. Two, the opossums might get to them because you guys know we have those here, and the raccoons. I might lose them, and they're just gonna make a big mess everywhere. So I'm gonna have a nice area for the chickens. They're gonna stay there, but we gotta build the fence, and that's what I'm gonna show you guys how to do today. I bought all the supplies we need. I'm about to show you guys right now. I'm gonna tell you where you can buy them and how to set it up where it will match perfectly, and you guys can have a very good fence. They recommend, I think, 6 foot, but in this video I'm gonna build a 5-foot fence just because that was the the extra supply I had around the house, and two, I think 6 foot would look a little odd. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Hope you guys enjoy, hope you guys learn, but now we're gonna jump right into the video. This is the area where I decided to keep my chickens. I flattened everything out. We used to have some wooden beds there for our garden. I took those out. They had a lot of thorns back there. I try to remove the most that I can, but I am also leaving some bushes so the chickens, you know, they could go around and have like a more natural environment. They recommend, I believe, 7 square feet per chicken. Now this is about a 45 square foot area lot, and I'm only gonna get 3 chickens, so that should be more than enough. And if I did want to buy a few more, that's why I'm also adding the extra space. I think I'm gonna try to add and build a chicken coop to the side of this, so the fence is gonna go around here through this line connecting to that fence, and then there's going to be the rest of the fence blocking it there. So I could kind of have half the fence already made and that wall already there. But these are the supplies we're going to be using. I bought these fence posts at my local Tractor Supply. They were $3.99, pretty cheap, $3.99 per rod. You can also find them in Lowe's in the back of your local gardening area. And then this is also some regular fence. This you could buy in Lowe's. I had this laying around the house, so I'm going to use it, but you could buy that in Lowe's, and I think Tractor Supply might sell those too. And then we also need some of these what are they called, little post clips. These are what connect the fence to these special posts that they have here. I bought 2 packs. I believe they come with 25 a pack. Yeah, right there. And I'm also going to need some of this string so I can align everything perfectly. And if you do want to put a nice door, I am going to show you guys how to do that as well. We are going to be using a 4x4 post for that. I'll show you how to set everything up, and I'm going to also build a door for myself. You guys can copy as well. And this should be fun. This should be easy. So this should take no more than also a day. That should be the max this should take. I don't expect it to take any longer. So we're going to get right into the project and show you guys how to do it. Alright, so first things first, we gotta find whatever you guys are going to attach your hog fence to, and we gotta tie a rope to that post, making sure we double knot it. It's not gonna come loose because this is what's gonna align all the T-posts together. We unwind it, make sure it's gonna be nice and straight, it's not getting tangled with any sticks of any kind. And then is where we gotta put the first T-post. So you gotta line it up with the post kind of by eye, because this is where we're gonna straighten all of them connected to. So we'll just hammer it down. I know I probably should be on a stool right there, but as you can see, it's still getting the job done. It is going down. So now that we got the corner piece basically going in, a few more taps, now we align the string with the exact corner T-post. So we tie it up with the same knot that we just did the other one with, a double knot, so long as it doesn't come loose is the main point. And once we have that there, it should be pretty straight and ready to put the other T-post on it. So as you guys can see, dead straight line. That's your line that you're going to put all the T-posts on, including the 4x4 post, which we're going to use to hold the door. As you can see, I'm going to start digging right here, right in the edge of the line, because that's where the 4x4 post is going to be. That's what I'm going to use to hold the door up. I'm going to make 2 holes to have 2 of those there, and it should be good to go after that. As you guys can see, the hole is fairly deep. I think I made it about 2 foot deep, maybe a little more, but it was roughly about 2 foot, maybe 36 inches. You can make it if you want it to be extra sturdy, but I made 2 of them about 34 inches apart because that's how big I wanted the door to be. I found these 2 posts laying around at my house, and those are the ones I'm going to use. You guys can pick these up at Home Depot or your Lowe's or local wood supply store. I just laying them down so I could get a kind of estimated view on how they're going to look. And now is when the concrete is going to come into play. We got to get these things right aligned with the rest of the T-posts, which I hammered down exactly like I did the corner one, if you guys wanted to wonder how. And I just leveled them and make sure everything was straight with the line and with a small leveler. So now we got to get the concrete on these posts to make sure they're exactly straight, because we don't want anything loose. So I just grabbed regular dry concrete, poured it around the hole whilst my dad was holding the post level, just to make sure that the concrete will kind of go around it and keep it sturdy within itself. So now that I poured half the bag, half an 80-pound bag, I pour in first dry concrete straight into the hole. Then, as you guys are going to see in one moment, my dad's making sure everything is level right before we put the water on, before it becomes solid. Because once that happens, there is no turning back. Everything's good to go. I just grabbed some water and we're about to pour it in here right now. So now I just grabbed some water, poured a little bit around the edges, making sure everything is good to go. I poured a decent amount. I'd say I poured almost a whole bunch. Then I poured the rest of the bag in once I gave it time for the water to dry down into the first patch of concrete that we put. Then I poured the rest of the water over the second patch that we threw in there. And that's it. That post should be set. Now you could cover it with dirt after you let the water go down. And then give it a day. We could chop the top of the 4x4, because we don't want to chop it the day we set it, because it might rattle it up and the concrete might not come out exactly the way you want it to. So give it a day. My dad's chopping it now. Everything's going to be nice and flat, and now we're going to see how to build the door on this thing. So I ran to my local hardware store, my Lowe's, and I bought about 6 of these fence posts. First things first, we gotta measure the distance apart from the top and from the bottom, and I wrote it on the post just so I won't forget, to make sure whatever we do, we gotta get exactly the same distance as those two things are, so it can swing perfectly and open and close beautifully. So I grabbed one post, I lined it up with the one that's gonna be in your right hand side or my left, but I marked it right in a line to the top of the 4x4 post, and then I grabbed another one and did the same thing to the other side. Then I grabbed my little level, making sure everything was nice and straight, and I drew a perfect line right across the fencing post. Right across the fencing board, making sure that nothing was in the way and we saw a clear line ready to cut. Then, before I cut that one, I grabbed another one and did the width of both the top and the bottom, so we could cut them all at one time. So now I'm just going to slice all of them right here with the Cobalt circular saw, making sure the cut is exactly straight, laser precision in line with the 4 lines that I made to make the door frame. As you guys can see, I kind of put everything kind of together just to see how it would look like. But now we got to go and cut the hog wire fence to cover the door, because we don't want the chickens just to be flying straight through the door. That makes absolutely no sense. So I'm over here giving it some snips, exactly aligning it with the distance and the width and the length that exactly it has to be to cover the door perfectly. So once that's done, just lay it over the door like so, and slip it under the width piece of board that you guys can see right here. Just slip it under there, because we're going to screw that over it to keep the hog fence in place, and so it won't move anywhere. It's going to be very sturdy. Trust me, it is like not moving once you screw those things under there. I put about 5 screws in each corner, as you can see, just to make sure that it's going to be very sturdy. I was using, I think, about 1 to 1.5. I think I was using 1.5 inch screws just to make sure it won't go through. And yeah, just put enough screws to make sure it won't break and it will hold sturdy for a very long time. Alright, now it's time for the side pieces. So I just measured and cut the exact length to cover the side, just to keep the hog fence and the chicken fence just perfectly smooth and definitely won't bounce out, or any animal or any chicken can come out through the gap. That there was a small gap if you didn't put a side piece. So I decided to buy a few more boards, put it in there, and now we're going to install the hinges. So I found these hinges in our local shed that we had right there. We had so much extra stuff in there that I could have used. I lined it up exactly anywhere you guys really want to put it, you could put it, so long as there's one in the top and one in the bottom. Even if you want to put one in the middle, you can do so. I just chose not to because I just wanted a simple 2-hinge door system. Screwed it on, it worked perfectly, and now as you guys can see, the top is even exactly level, which is also a bonus for the door, because the door doesn't always have to be level, but it looks perfect and beautiful, better than I thought it was going to come out. Now it's time to attach the door handle, which I picked this up at Home Depot for about $7. It was like in the outdoor gate handle section, hardware section there. I just grabbed the screw gun, screwed the bolts right onto the door, and it fit perfectly. Lined it up, make sure everything was level, and just screwed it right in. As you guys can see, it holds and opens the door perfectly. Now it's time to add the locking mechanism. I picked this also up at Home Depot for only $5. This was the cheapest one they had, but it was also one of the best because it was very effective. I really like the way it works. You just screw in the attachment that goes on the 4x4 post, and then the other attachment goes screwed onto the door, and it should work. The lock should be perfect there. Just make sure it's lined up to where they open and close and everything is ship shape. So you guys can see right there, it locks in beautifully, and now we got the handle and the door right on. Alright, so now it's time to put the chicken fence. I bought a whole new row of 100 feet at Lowe's. They had it just because I didn't want to use the old one and it wasn't enough. So now you gotta measure from the beginning where your chicken fence will start. Measure all the way to the ending point where it's gonna end, which I'm gonna stop it at the first 4x4 post that's in the door. My measuring tape just wasn't long enough, so I had to split it right there, and I believe it was about 296 inches, something like that. So I flipped the fence over and rolled it like this so I could be able to step on it and unbend the roll, so it just won't be rolling every time once I cut it. And it should be good to go right now. We're just gonna pull it back, get it the right distance, and start snipping. I'm pulling it back here just because it kept rolling back with me every time I pulled it. I got it the right length. I stepped on it, make sure everything is flat, and now we're just gonna cut it and get it ready to put it on the wall. I already had all my T-posts hammered down to my desired height, and now I'm just unraveling this chicken wire to get it right on the post. Just grabbed it in the middle, lifted it up. It kind of all went with it and just leaned perfectly on the post. So we could go attach it in the first beginning area and then stretch it and connect it to the 4x4 post that is holding the door up. But first we got to attach it to our starting point, which is this little red fence right here. As you guys can see, I left extra little string sticking out at the end of the chicken fence, so I can just grab the needle nose pliers and curl it up all the way around in each of those red lines there, just to make sure it's going to hold up perfectly. And now the way you attach these T-post attachers, I forgot what they're called, but there's two hooks in the opposite direction. One goes over the hog wire and the other one goes under it, just like this. And then you grab the needle nose pliers, bend it easily. It's pretty easy to bend. You just gotta grab it at the right area, as you guys can see, and put it right over the chicken fence to make sure that it is not going to come off no matter what wind or storm happens. It's always going to be connected to the T-post, and that is just beautiful right there. That's the simple way you do it. And then I grabbed some of these fence staples. I think that's what they're called. You can pick them up at Lowe's or Tractor Supply. They sell you a bunch of them. This is what I'm going to use to nail the chicken fence to the actual 4x4 post, and it worked pretty well. It just went right over it and held it perfectly in place. Just hammer it right in, and you can hammer a stream of those right down the 4x4 to make sure the fence is not going to go anywhere. As you guys can see, it worked perfectly in that side and in this side. And that's basically it. You guys can see it's nice and tight. Make sure you stretch it, and after that, no wind or nothing should take that down. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. I hope this helped out if you guys are putting a hog fence or chicken fence for yourself. I try to show everything you needed on how to build it and how to even build a door, which you guys can build very simply and very easy. But before we end this video, I have to give a shout out to Joseph Green. He subscribed and turned on post notifications. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Shout out to him. And if you guys want to be shouted out or featured in the next video, all you have to do is subscribe, turn on post notifications, like the video, and comment down below if you guys dig all those 3 things, and you guys could be shouted out in my next video. Don't forget, if you want to see my previous video, hit the button at the right. If you want to see the video YouTube recommends, hit the button at the left. And if you want to join JP Nation, hit the button at the top. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, this is Josiah signing out.